Hello, everyone. It's Michael, and today we're going to be doing Smart Library User Administration Training. Now, Smart Library is a pretty exhaustive system. You can be as simple with it as you like or as complex with it as you like. I'm sure you will not find a library system out there that's totally web enabled, that has all the features that we have. Conversely, if you're running a library system, uh, you can bet your bottom dollar that whatever you need to do in the library, we cover it, and we cover it comprehensively, and we add a whole bunch of new functions and features to it to make it exciting for you. Okay, so I'm going to be doing your training session today. And if you want to communicate with me, on the top right hand side, there is a chat widget. So you can click on that because I'm going to constantly monitoring. This is a live session. It's not one of these things that are done at, on a weekend when I've got nothing else to do. This is live. And so, I've already got a question up here. And that question is, do I need to be logged in? And the answer is no, you don't. You can just watch my screen. Okay. Now, because this is YouTube Live, you can come back to it anytime and you can have a look and relook and relook, and you can even send the link to other staff members to look at the system. So no, you do not need to be logged into your system at all. Okay, so watch my screen and we are off and running. We're going to talk about security. Okay, and is it important? Personally, I believe that security should be a very important function and feature of any library system. And let's just deal with the issue of resources, books, as an example, just books. Now, I will deal from the perspective that you are a primary school. Now, you could be a senior school, you could be a university, and the same thing will apply. But I'll talk as from a primary perspective so it makes sense to you. So, to be able to work on security, you need to be signed in. So, why do we need security? Okay, we need security. Let's say, for argument's sake, you've bought some books that are senior fiction, and you might not need or require or want people that are in a particular level to be able to access that information, okay, or access that book, or even see that senior fiction book. So you need to know about security. How can you avoid that? How can you manage that? Okay, or you might have bought a laptop or an iPad and it's only available to the administration staff, not even staff. So you might want to make sure that even staff can't see it and staff can't borrow it either. So security becomes very, very important in that area. If you are a TV4Education user, and you know TV4Education, we have over 180,000 videos across every subject, every curriculum, every year level from prep all the way to university, which means that you could come across some items in the system that is sexually explicit, it's violent, it's about bullying, okay? And you might not want the kids to have access to it, but you want it in your collection, and you decide when to show it, what to show, and how much of it to show. Okay, so you want security in that. You might want to add a video which is a PG, but you don't want, anyone from year 5 and below watching it. Okay, so you might want to put a security on it so it doesn't even show up there. So they can't just go and click on the video and then play the video. So that's very, very important. Okay, so to start off with, let's go back to my computer screen. And to be able to do anything with security, you must be signed in as an administrator. Now, we do single sign-on with any single sign-on system that's industry standard, okay? So if you're single sign-on, when you click that sign-in button on the top right, it'll sign you in. But if you're not single sign-on, just click on that and it'll ask you to log in. I'm going to log in with my username and my password, and I go log in. And of course, if I am successful in my login as an administrator, I can run security. So what do I need to do to start with security? Well, there's some fundamentals, okay? And let's have a look at the patron side. There are catalog security and patron security. So the fundamental on the patron side, you need to click on menu. You need to go down to configuration, okay? And then just because it's just showing 2 items or 3 items, make sure you scroll the screen up because there's all this other wonderful stuff in here. What we want is the authority files. So when you're working with security, you need to go to the authority files. What part of the authority file? Just click on it, and the authority files are alphabetical. Okay, so that's why audience is always at the top. But if you expand that list, you'll see everything there. The one that you're interested in and the one that you need to be engaged with is the one called class grade. Okay, and that's where the securities are set for the patrons. So you can click on class grade, and here are all your year levels. Okay, so let's go to a security one, a year level one. If I click on the year level one, the pencil, it'll say the year level one has a security of 1. That's great. Okay, and that's fantastic. Let's have a year level 3. So let's go down to year level 3, click on the pencil, and the year level 3 has a 3 in it. Let's have a look at a year level 5. So we come down here, the year level 5, click on that, and the year level 5. So can you see the pattern? The security number is corresponding to whatever year level they are. And that's the way it should be. Prep is 0, 5 is 5, 6 is 6, 7 is 7, 8 is 8, 9 is 9, 10 is 10, 11 is 11, 12 is 12. What about teachers? Okay, so because teachers don't have a year level. Okay, so if I go down to staff and I click that, by default, the staff should have a number of 50. Okay, personally, I don't like a classification of staff. I'd like to divide that. I would like to have permanent staff, temporary staff. Okay, and so temporary staff will have a security of 25. It's just a number, and permanent staff will have a security of 50. Why would you do that? So when I create a resource and I'm happy for the temporary staff to borrow it on the resource, if the temporary staff is 25, then I'll make the resource available to security 25 so they can borrow it. But if I made the security on the item as 45, then the 25 secured people will not be able to borrow it, but the permanent staff who are 50 will be able to borrow anything from 50 down. Okay, so that's how that would work. So that's why it's not a good idea to just have staff. So you might have staff permanent, staff temporary, staff weekly. Okay, these are the weekly people that come in, and you might make them as a staff of, instead of 25, you might make them a staff of 20. So weekly staff can borrow anything with a security code of 20 or less, but they don't have as much clearance as the temporary staff, which is 25 and less, which doesn't have as much security as the permanent staff, which is 50 or less, which doesn't have the same amount as if you're an administrator or a library staff member. So let me go down and have a look at the administrators. So the administrators, oh, they have a security of 999. So basically, if I don't want even library staff members to borrow that particular laptop or whatever, I can make it anything above 50, and I'll make it say 100 or 200. So administrators are the only ones can borrow it. And because your security level is 50, then you won't be able to have access to it. Now, whenever you put a security number in here, whatever that number happens to be, or whenever you put a final borrowing date and expiry date and how many books they can borrow and how long they can borrow it for, and can they renew their own books, and they can renew 3 times, and if they renew, they get 14 days or 45 days or whatever period, and they can reserve 50 books or 100. Whenever you put any information in here, you must remember to save. Now, you might not think it's doing anything. So what I want you to do is have a look at that little diskette and watch what happens when I click save. Save, there, save, okay? And basically in that fraction of a second, it has taken everyone who's an administrator and applied all these parameters to it, okay? Then you can close. Now, let's go down to a year 12 as an example. When I go year 12, and I know on my system, the year 12, I might have about 100 of them. Okay, again, the same thing. Yep, all that's fine, except when they renew it, I'm going to allow them to renew it only for 7 days. Okay, now I go save. See that fraction of a second? That's it. So basically, retrospectively, every year 12 has now got all these parameters, and they've got a security of 12. Okay, now let me show you what happens on the patron's record. Okay, so I'm going to go into menu. I'm going to go down to patron and I'm going to patron management. And in patron management, I'm going to do a find and I'm going to type in John. Okay. Now, if I look at John, oh, there's James. So let's have a look at this guy. When I click on him and his class grade, his security is 12. That's it. Okay. Because he is in a class grade of 12, so he's got a security of 12. And that's how it works. Okay. Now, if I call up an administrator, so let's go find and find left. Let's find Mike. Okay. Have you got a library administrator? There's a library administrator there. Okay. So library administrator, it's a staff member, and that's why they have 50. But I go, no, they're not staff. They're actually an administrator. So I click on administrator, and now when I go save, it says you're going to update that, and I go, okay. And now their security is whatever the authority file for the administrators, that's it. Okay. So that's how you set security. Now, if you want to retrospectively go and change other stuff, just go into the catalog record, into the class grade authority file, fix the parameter in there, and it'll automatically retrospectively go back and do all of that. Okay, so that's how it works. Now, let's say for argument's sake, you're in here, okay, and how does that impact the catalog? So let's go to menu, go to catalog and catalog. Okay, and in here that's the catalog record. Okay, and if I go back to the very first record in the collection, okay, 100 people, that has a security of 0. Let's have a look at the next catalog record. The next catalog, 100 symbols, and you go, no, this is a very expensive book, so it's only for teachers. So I now go 50. Okay, and then I can go save. So now this will only appear on teachers OPAC, and teachers can borrow it legitimately. So that's how that would work. Okay, if I look at the next record, and the next record, 1001 books, and I go, no, I only want that for year 12 and above because it's a senior fiction book. So when you set that and you click save, that's what's happened. So that catalog record is only available to the year 12 and above. And that's all there is to it. So thank you very much for the opportunity to present the system SmartSuite Security to you. Thank you. Hello, it's Michael.